Breaking tonight at this hour, the state of Ohio is now just a signature away from a historical pro-life legislation. Governor John Kasich is now tasked with considering the adoption of one of the strictest abortion laws in the country. It is a measure that would ban abortions upon the first heartbeats of the fetus, heartbeats that are often measured in just 6 weeks into a woman's pregnancy. Fox's Shannon Bream has the details on this story for us tonight from Washington. Shannon.
Martha, advocates on both sides of the abortion debate are watching and waiting to see what Ohio Governor and one-time presidential candidate John Kasich will do with the so-called heartbeat bill just passed by lawmakers there. The bill bans anyone from performing an abortion without first checking for a fetal heartbeat or from continuing with an abortion if a heartbeat is detected, roughly around 6 weeks into a pregnancy. A doctor who breaks the law could be convicted of a felony and face up to a year in prison. The bill contains an exception if the mother's life is in danger, but there are no exceptions in cases of rape or incest. NARAL Pro-Choice Ohio's executive director says, quote, 1 in 3 women choose to have an abortion in their lifetime. Banning women from getting a medical procedure is out of touch with Ohio values and is completely unacceptable. She continues, clearly this bill's supporters are hoping that President-elect Trump will have the chance to pack the U.S. Supreme Court with justices that are poised to overturn Roe v. Wade. We must prevent that from happening to protect women's lives. So far, no word from the governor. Although pro-life, Kasich has expressed concerns about the legal viability of earlier versions of the bill. Similar laws have been struck down in Arkansas and North Dakota, and now the clock is ticking in Ohio. If Kasich signs the bill or does nothing within 10 days, it will become law early in 2017. If he vetoes the measure, that is the end, unless 3/5 of the state House and Senate vote to override his veto. Multiple groups, including the ACLU, have vowed to immediately sue if the law does go into effect. Martha?
Our thanks to Shannon Bream. So here with more, Lisa Booth is a Washington Examiner columnist and a Fox News contributor. Nomiki Konst is host of The Filter on Sirius XM Progress. Welcome to both of you. Good to have you here tonight.
Hi, Martha.
A lot of pressure right now on John Kasich. This bill is sitting on his desk, and obviously a lot of pro-life advocates would like to see him sign it. But as Shannon pointed out, in the past, Kasich has said that he's pro-life, but he believes in exceptions for rape and incest, which do not exist in this bill. Nomiki, what do you think happens here, and what do you think should happen?
Well, number one, I think that this bill is just flat out unconstitutional. Similar bills have been struck down in upper courts in North Dakota and Arkansas. I think it would be bad politics for John Kasich. I think it's bad politics for Donald Trump. Donald Trump has a lot of things on his desk right now. He needs easy wins. This is a way to unify the left, unify moderate Republicans who know that this is bad politics. And furthermore, it's just dangerous. Most women don't know they're pregnant by 5 or 6 weeks. Most women, it doesn't stop abortions. It forces women to get abortions in dangerous places, and we know that. I mean, there's history to prove that. So, you know, if abortion rights activists are unified in an effort like this, I think that they have a clear path to victory. And I think John Kasich's history shows that he's even against bills like this, which do not exclude women who have experienced rape or incest.
Yeah. All right. Lisa, what do you think?
Well, look, I don't think it's as controversial as the media and the left purports it to be. Columbus Dispatch and Quinnipiac did polling in 2012 and 2013 and found that voters were actually split 46-47 on it. So it's not as controversial as, you know, Nomiki just purported it to be. But I do agree with her notion in the sense that North Dakota did have similar legislation that was struck down in federal court, and the Supreme Court refused the state's appeal to hear it. So ultimately it will likely meet the same fate. But I think what is important here is the movement on the pro-life community and feeling emboldened under President-elect Donald Trump. If you look at what's happening across the state, there's been more pro-life legislation passed in the state level in recent time, and that's only going to get emboldened when Republicans hold more state legislatures than ever before in history. The majority of governors in the country are Republicans, and you also have a president-elect who has committed to things like nominating pro-life Supreme Court justices. Right. Also, another important thing, real quick, Martha, is the fact that there is another bill on Governor John Kasich's desk, which he will sign, which will make Ohio the 18th state to support banning abortions at 20 weeks, which is something the majority of Americans support, and something that Hillary Clinton did not support. She wants abortions at 20 weeks, which is extreme.
Yeah, 43 states have some or all abortions after a certain point illegal, and as you point out, that other law would make Ohio the the 20th state in terms of the 20-week law. And, you know, when you look across the numbers, Nomiki, 47% of the country, according to Gallup, is pro-choice. 46% is pro-life. I think these numbers have been changing over the course of the last several years, especially with new technology that does show things like a heartbeat at such an early stage of the game. And I would expect that, given President Trump's stance that he will, President-elect Trump, that he will pick pro-life judges, that this is something we're going to hear a lot more about.
Well, Pew actually did a recent report and showed that 57% of Americans believe in some form of abortion, legal or outright completely banned, being pro-choice.
Right.
That's where they stand.
Thank you very much, Nomiki and Lisa.